Lake Oswego asking its customers to conserve water because of lower than normal flow in the Clackamas River.
The conservation measures, they're voluntary for now, but could they become mandatory? That's the question. Are other cities worried about their own water supply?
Our Tim Becker digging deeper. He joins us live. Tim?
Yeah, the greater metro area now has 5 main water sources. Of course, the Willamette River behind me with somewhat regulated flow is one of them. The Bull Run watershed, that is another source. There's groundwater, and there's the Clackamas River as well, to name another one. Now, the Clackamas River is a little different because, well, it doesn't have a reservoir feeding it. But I found out that the water providers that draw from it aren't really worried about things getting any worse for now. Their message,
we don't have a water shortage at this point,
is the same.
There's not anything that's jumping up and saying, okay, this is going to be a crisis or anything like that.
The Clackamas River supplies about 300,000 people with water, many of them getting a curtailment notice like this one from a provider named Clackamas River Water.
People shouldn't panic, but we also need to be cautious, and we need to think wisely about how we use water. It is a precious resource.
That's why Lake Oswego also issued a Stage 1 water alert.
If conditions on the river were to get worse, we could move on into a further stage, but at this point it's voluntary.
Lake Oswego water officials tell me the Clackamas River's level drop from lack of rain and snowpack is about done. It's now stabilizing, fed by aquifers. I asked what it would take to issue a Stage 2 alert that includes some minor restrictions on things like pressure washing sidewalks and filling ponds.
There's an indicator that says continued dry weather, continued reduction in flows on the Clackamas. But the actual call to Stage 2 would be something that we would all be in, everybody in the City of Lake Oswego.
They tell me, barring an area drought declaration by the governor, that'll likely not happen. And I found out the rest of the metro area, where 20 different providers serve 95% of the water supply, isn't nearing a shortage either. The Bull Run watershed and groundwater feed many of the providers in Multnomah County, and much of Washington County draws from the Tualatin River, which is fed by Hagg Lake, reservoirs that are not in short supply.
I wouldn't say that we're in any dire threat or anything like that.
Well, you know, we checked with Vancouver as well. They tell us they don't expect any impact from the snowpack-related drought either up in that area. So you got to remember, though, folks, we're the only ones that are really off the hook up here in the northwest corner of the state. Governor Brown has of course, declared drought conditions throughout 19 other counties. That covers about 3/4 of the rest of the states. Back to you.
I was talking to the Portland Water Bureau, and they were telling me that in the areas where the water is collected for the Bull Run, they got 97% of normal rainfall. So where other places didn't have rain, that area where you needed to fill the reservoirs, they got the rain they needed. So that's why they're full, despite the lack of snow.
Hagg Lake as well.
Thank you, sir.
Good news there.